You want to sit here while we film? Hello. Good morning.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm great.
Oh, good.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm pretty good. I'm tired.
Brooklyn, what are we talking about today?
Good question.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Today, we are looking at a passage from Revelation. It's, once again, the same thing that's being covered in the main sermon this week. So if you want to go watch that, that'd be awesome. And hopefully this will give you some more help understanding, or I don't know, whatever you need. Hopefully we give you what you need. We're talking about Revelation.
Scary.
We're not talking about all of Revelation. We're just talking about a little passage from Revelation. We're going to read Revelation 5, 1 through 6a.
Then I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll with writing on both sides and sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a mighty angel proclaiming in a loud voice, "Who is worthy to break the seals and open the scroll?" But no one in heaven or on earth or under the earth could open the scroll or even look inside it. I wept and wept because no one was found who was worthy to open the scroll or look inside. Then one of the elders said to me, "Do not weep. See, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has triumphed. He is able to open the scroll and its 7 seals." Then I saw a lamb, looking as if it had been slain, standing at the center of the throne.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Do you know who wrote Revelation?
Oof. It was the disciple John.
They think John was probably about 20 when he started doing ministry with Jesus.
Remember when you were 20?
So long ago.
So long.
You know, he's right around like Hutton's age of life, okay? John wrote Revelation when he was well into his 80s. He'd been sentenced to death by a Roman emperor for being a believer and proclaiming the gospel.
Sheesh.
He ended up exiled on this island called Patmos, and he was basically forced to work as a prisoner there. While he was there, that's where he wrote the book of Revelation, way after Jesus had died. This was like 60 years after Jesus had died.
Sheesh.
Now that we kind of know a little bit about our guy, John, who's writing this,
Our boy. Shout out Jay.
we can talk a little bit about the book of Revelation to give us more context to this passage. So, what is Revelation, Mike?
You know, Revelation is the book that tells us basically how the story ends. This whole thing. It's just basically, it's a book of prophecy covering the progression of the gospel. It's also referred to as the new song. The building up of the church, or Jesus' body. Brooklyn's not here anymore, so this is the Mike show. It's basically the sentencing of the world, judged by the standards Jesus set for us. All right. It's also the establishment of the restored nation of Israel and the millennial king. The reward for his faithful believers, and the completion of God's purpose in the new heaven, the new earth, and the new Jerusalem, to carry forward into eternity future. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. Brooklyn will never tell you this, all right? Revelation, it's a tricky book to read, but it's even trickier to teach. So that's why she's going to have me do it right now. There's a ton of symbolism, and it really shows how the Old Testament and New Testament and the story of Jesus is all one big story. And it's one big love letter from God to us. I think that's pretty incredible. Welcome back, Brooklyn.
Thanks. I personally love talking about Revelation. I kind of nerd out over it because I think it's so cool.
Thanks, Scary.
Exactly. I know it's confusing to some people or scary to think about. There's a lot of different interpretations out there. A lot of people just think the book is talking about different things. So I encourage you guys to dig into this, talk to your parents about it.
Dive in.
If you guys want, if you're interested, we can talk more about it in youth group. So that's Revelation. There's a couple quick things to note about what's happening right before this passage. The first 4 chapters of Revelation, we are told that this is the revelation of Jesus Christ. Okay, this is God revealing himself to John so that he can communicate it to us. Then there's a lot of imagery of Jesus and different churches. There is a scene where John is in God's throne room and all these angels and creatures are worshiping God. And that brings us to where we are in chapter 5.
And now Okie Day.
Okie day.
Okie Day.
Okie day.
You know, in our text, John is before the throne, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's there, seeing all them creatures, all them people just praising him. Like to me, that's incredible. What does it mean to you?
I mean, that'd be mind-blowing.
Can you fathom it?
No.
I can't either. There's one seated with a scroll in his right hand. After seeing that the call comes forth, who is worthy to look at the scroll and break the 7 seals? Heart to heart with Mike here real quick. I love all of you to death, but I don't think any of us are worthy to break the 7 seals.
Truth.
And I think, because of that, John weeps.
Some think here that he is weeping, crying for joy because he knows it's Jesus who is worthy. But how could John really be sure? Remember, he had been going forth and making disciples for over 60 years since Jesus had left. And many of the disciples had thought that Jesus' talk of returning was going to happen in their lifetime. They thought they would see him again. They thought that he would come back and establish the kingdom of Israel while they were alive. But one by one, the disciples died. So surely at this point, John's an old man and he's weeping in sorrow and maybe even despair and hopelessness. And verse 4 kind of confirms this. Who is worthy? It says no one is. And then one of the angels says, behold, the Lion of Judah. The root of David has triumphed. Jesus is the root of David. We know that because he came from David, right?
Roots.
And Jesus overcame sin and death. We talked about that last week and the week before. But this angel says, behold the Lion of Judah. What lion?
Alex the lion? From Madagascar.
John turns and he sees a lamb standing as though it had been slain, slaughtered, killed. I mean, just take a minute to soak in that picture. Take a second and just consider that imagery. The disciples and the people of the time, they expected Jesus to be a lion of a leader, someone who would come in and just take control and defeat all the Romans and restore Israel just like that.
1-2 punch, knockout, boom.
And Jesus has all the power of a lion-ish leader, without a doubt. He could do that. But what no one expected was that Jesus was a sacrificial lamb who was slain for us. He took on our wounds and our punishment so that we could be with him in a restored eternity. That's our king. That's our king. Worthy is the lamb. The angel said to John, weep not. Because the lamb was able to open the scroll. The lamb broke the seals and unfolded the secret of God's eternal purpose for his son, his many children, the world, and the universe. It's all there.
To wrap all this up, all right, be of good cheer, guys. Jesus has overcome the entire world, and the Father has a grand plan, not just for Jesus, but for like all of us. Pretty special, I think.
God made you special.
Things are hard right now, guys. We're feeling like we've lost a lot of control and freedom, and it's okay to feel that and grieve that, but Jesus is with us as we process those feelings, and we really should be stoked to know that we can turn to our God who directs the future. What are you looking for as far as a leader? Are you looking for a lion or a lamb?
Remember that where life feels heavy and difficult, Jesus is life, and he gives life that is free. We get this free life by turning to him as our sustainer, by letting him transform us, and by living according to the Spirit. Praise God. He has a good pleasure. Not the kind of pleasure that the world gives us, but true pleasure from heaven. And it's really good to know, comforting to me to know that in the middle of all this craziness going on,
And everything that is a bummer right now,
our God has a grand plan, has an amazing plan. He's still in control. He has an eternal purpose that includes those whom he loves. His plan and his purpose includes us. Praise God for choosing to reveal his secret things to his people, to us.
Guys, we love you.
We do.
Okay.
We miss you so much.
We miss you, right? Even me. I miss you guys.
We hope you guys are all staying safe and healthy. Don't forget, we're here all the time. If you ever need anything, please text us.
Have a good rest of your week, okay? We will have Zoom meetings for high school tonight, and then Wednesday night we'll be with the middle schoolers. We hope to see you there. We'll see you next week. What are you doing?
Nothing.
What's wrong?
Miss our student.
How you doing, buddy? What?
I miss the students.
I miss the students too.
I miss our youth group. I miss our church.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Well.